Hello everyone and welcome to day 36 of my 100-day project. I'm working in soft pastel and I'm working on a piece of mat board that I have primed with clear Color Fix pastel primer. And I thought I would see what would happen if I didn't tone it. At first I thought I would come up and do an underpainting and then use alcohol to kind of dissolve the pastel. But when I looked at the surface, I saw a face in the brush marks. So I went with that. And to be honest, I wish I would have stopped here in a moment. As I was doing her hair, I noticed there were all these faces in her hair. So I kind of used that dark blue and I saw 3 different faces and I thought, okay, this is really cool. And I really do wish I had stopped there. And I kept going and kind of filling it in, and I end up losing a lot of that. I'm tired. I taught a workshop today, and I've been teaching every day in a row for a few days, so I'm a little tired, and I think I overworked this one and could have stopped way earlier and just left it really sketchy. You know, I'm doing these drawing mediums, several in a row. I do oil pastel next, I think. And then I'm doing wax pastel. And then I think I do acrylic or something and I go back to painting. But I'm kind of like wanting to do something just really sketchy drawing wise and just let it be raw like that. And I really wish I had done that with her today, but lessons learned. So I am continuing to build. I'm using my Unison soft pastels primarily today. I used the Faber Castells just a little bit around her eye to get some of that detail and to do the sketching at the beginning. I like to use the harder pastels there. But that's pretty much it. I pull out a Carbothello pencil, pastel pencil, to get a little bit around her eyes. But I'm really enjoying the Unison. I really like the looseness. I really like the painterly look of them. And the frickin' panel just kept falling off my easel. It was like, it got comical at one point, and my gloves kept tracking pastel everywhere. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm doing this, and I'm like, I don't know how this pastel is going to stick to this surface because there's so much on there. But I keep giving it a good tap. And so I'm getting all the excess off. My phone ran out of storage partway through, so I missed part of the recording. But to be honest, you really didn't miss much. At this point, I'm looking at her, and I just feel like she looks a little dead. So I'm trying to add some warmth into her lips and her cheeks. So I'm using that same color on her cheek, a little bit around her nose, and I do a little bit around her eye. And then I bring it into a little bit in her hair and a little bit into her clothing a little bit later. And I kind of wish I hadn't brought it into her clothing. You'll see here in a moment. I think I would have had better contrast if I had left her clothing kind of that blue color. It would have been more monotone, and then it would have, or monochromatic, and then it would have drawn more attention to her lips. But that's where she is. I kind of did these last minute marks at the end around her cheek to kind of give it this sort of abstract circular moon-like shape. And I just felt like she needed some interest. That's really what was going on there. So there we are, day 36, on to the next day. There's always another day, or hopefully. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye.